It took me over a month to build this vanity cabinet from scratch, and I almost gave up on it. This project started out pretty smooth. I made my plan to fit this small sink I found at Home Depot. I decided to use some poplar wood 2x2s for the legs and the base, and maple plywood for the side panels. Now, I started by cutting all the 2x2s to size using my miter saw. Nothing fancy here, just cross cuts to get them to their right length. And I'm basically creating a rectangular base according to the size of the sink, with the front legs being one long piece and the back legs shorter. This will make some sense later. So I cut the plywood to size using my circular saw and rip guide to avoid dragging out my table saw. Once everything was cut, I added pocket holes to all except the back legs, which I'll show you later how I attach those. This is how the side panel will come together, one for each side of the cabinet, and you can see the leg is tapered, which I created after making a jig for my miter saw. You can comment if you want more info on that. And I used this 1/4 inch plywood to create a small ledge on the outside of the cabinet. So I placed that underneath while attaching the panel to the legs with pocket hole screws. Now at this point I hit a little snag. I assumed that I should be using a 2.5 inch pocket screw because of the thicker leg piece, which would be the case if I was connecting two pieces of the same thickness, but when I did, it went straight through to the other side. After some trial and error, I realized that because I was going from a thinner board, I needed a shorter screw. So here is a project getting back on track. Now, of course, after I had finished this project, I found out that Craig, the Pocket Hole brand, has a tool on their website, which you're seeing here on the screen, where you can just plug in your materials and it will tell you exactly what size and type of screw to use for your project. And I will link to that in the description. Moving right along, I attached this base piece, which will connect to two shorter cross pieces and connect to the other side panel. You'll see that in just a minute. Now, this is the proper use of those 2.5 inch pocket screws because I am attaching the 2x2s to each other. Here are the two side panels. I used some scrap 3/4 inch plywood as the back stretcher to connect them at the top of the cabinet. Then I completed the base assembly. Now, there was a lot of figuring out with this cabinet because this was my first time building one with my own plans, so a lot of back and forth. But this front stretcher piece I did attach slightly higher than the back one because I wanted the shelf to lay flush with that, and you'll see at the end that this makes sense. And then our bathroom pipes come up from the floor, so I attached this back piece about 4 inches in from the wall where it will be attached to the wall to account for that and to not have to worry about cutting through the baseboard or anything like that. So for the back legs, I just attached them using wood screws from the inside of the base. And I had not accounted for our bathroom floors being unlevel, so I ended up adding these leveling feet, which saved my sanity when it came to installing the cabinet. Now, for the cabinet doors, I kept it really simple with 3/4 inch plywood. I got this door hinge specifically for this project, and it was pretty easy to use. The drill attaches to this bit, which has a circle cutting blade, and the whole base gets clamped to where you want to drill the hole for the hinge. Now, I should have taken that piece off before I drilled those holes for the screws, but you learn every time you do a project. I made a few minor repairs with wood filler to the plywood. Then I applied this edge banding to cover those raw edges of the doors. Now you could just use wood filler here and sand it smooth, but our bathroom doesn't have much ventilation, and I thought this would hold up better against any moisture. So we'll see with time. I love how easy this edge banding is to apply with just an iron, and the excess is easy to trim off with just a razor blade. We are almost done, and this is the complete cabinet without the doors. I also added those support braces at the top, which I did not show, but here it is all level and ready to be installed, but I still had to paint, and I will spare you the painting process, but I will say if you try this brand, be prepared to wait 8 to 12 hours of dry time between each coat. Now back to the hinges. These are called surface mount concealed hinges, and the part that attaches to the cabinet sits in on the front and nothing can be seen on the outside, which I love. I pre-drilled the holes and used the included screws to attach them. There's also a center screw that allows adjusting from left to right. Now here is the final cabinet. I love how it turned out. I am so happy I saw it through and finished it. We have so much more storage in this bathroom now. And I do plan on putting out my build plans for you if you're interested. So leave a comment if you are, and I will update you with the link when those are finished. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching.